Hi, welcome to Quick Business Tips. I'm Jennifer Swineford, founder of Limitless Impact Agency, and this is the podcast for service-based business owners who want to grow their business without losing the heart behind it. Every week, I'm bringing you real practical strategies on marketing, sales, and customer experience. No fluff, no hustle culture nonsense, just what works. So let's get into it. Today, I want to start with a story that probably sounds a little familiar. You've been in your business for 10 years, your work is excellent, your clients love you, your reviews are strong, and your referrals come in. But you keep losing out to one of your competitors, not because their work is better. You know it isn't. And it's not because they've been around longer than you. They probably haven't. But somehow, when your customer is comparing the contracts, the bids, the projects, that other company keeps getting the signature. So, what do? You drop your price, maybe just a little, enough to stay competitive. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you get the job. But now you're doing really high quality work for less money for a client that you know chose you because you had the lower price. That means when a customer chooses you based solely on your price or mostly on your price, they're going to question your value before you really even get started. I know because I've watched this pattern play out over and over. And every single time, no matter what the business is, the problem isn't the price. The problem is the messaging. So today I want to talk to you about what that really means. Not the marketing textbook version, the real life version, and give you 3 practical tips that you can use to start becoming the obvious choice for your perfect customer instead of the fallback option. Let's start by first clearing something up. Because positioning, messaging, marketing, these words get thrown around a lot and they mean nothing without context. Messaging isn't your tagline. It's not your logo, your color palette, or whether you have a nice website. Messaging is the answer to the one question that is in the mind of your perfect customer. Why should I choose you instead of someone else? And here's the thing about that question. Your potential customer is asking it whether you give them an answer or not. And if you don't give them a clear answer, they will fill in the blank on their own. And almost every time left to their own devices, customers are going to fill in that blank with the price. When a potential customer can't immediately, clearly tell someone why you're different, the only thing that's left for them to look at is the price on the page. And that's what's happening when you lose a job to a cheaper competitor whose work isn't better than yours. It's not that that customer doesn't value quality. They do. But your marketing hasn't given them enough information to justify paying more for the work that you do. Marketing is what answers the why you question so clearly and so specifically that price becomes that secondary consideration instead of the primary one. So let's talk about what this really looks like. I want to walk you through a pattern I've seen play out across home service industries more times than I can count. We're going to refer to these 2 businesses as contractor A and contractor B. Now, if you're a realtor or a coach or even a not-for-profit, these concepts still apply. But for this illustration, we're going to pretend that both of these companies are remodeling contractors. They serve the same market, the same city, they provide the same services, they've been in business for a similar number of years. And if you line up their work side by side on paper, you'd be hard pressed to decide which one is a clear winner. Now, contractor A markets like most contractors do. Their website says something like quality remodeling services for residential and commercial clients, licensed and insured, serving the greater area since 2012. Their photos are clean, professional, reviews are good. They respond to requests within 24 hours. Contractor B does something a little different. Their website tells a story, not a list of services. The story is about a family who's been putting off a kitchen renovation for 6 years because every contractor they talked to made them feel like a number on a spreadsheet. And contractor B showed up differently. They gave them regular updates. There were no surprise costs. They had one project manager who answered texts on a Saturday morning when the homeowner was panicking about whether or not they chose the right tile. Their photos aren't just of the beautiful finished project. They show photos of the process. These photos include the team walking the homeowner through the decision to make their selections, a before and after caption that says this kitchen took 11 weeks and one very patient family, and it was worth every day. Their reviews don't just say, great to work with. They say things like, they treated our home like it was their own. I never once felt like I didn't know what was happening. Now, a homeowner is probably going to get 3 quotes, and they visited all the websites. Contractor's A quote comes in at $42,000. Contractor B comes in at $48,000. So who's going to get the contract? Contractor B, most of the time. And not because they're cheaper. Because before the homeowner ever picked up the phone, they already trusted them. And their marketing helped them with the selling before the salesperson ever showed up at their door. Now, here's something important I want you to notice. Contractor B didn't come up with any new services or have any new specialized skills. They already treated the clients like they were caring for their own home. They had great communication, they were transparent in their pricing, and they genuinely cared about the family they were serving. What they did different is they got intentional about making sure that all of the stuff they were already doing showed up in their marketing. They were doing the same work, they just told a different story, and they got completely different results. So how do you become contractor B or realtor B or landscaper B or whatever version applies to your business? Here are 3 things that you can do. And none of these are complicated, but they do require you to be intentional in a way that most service businesses never bother to be. And the gap between intentional and accidental is where all the great marketing lives. So the first thing you can do is audit what your competitors are saying. Go look at your competitors' websites this week. Not to compare prices or portfolio pictures, but read what their marketing is saying. What do they say about themselves? What words do they use? Do they tell stories? And if so, what stories? And what do their reviews say? Now ask yourself, as the person buying from this competitor, where are the gaps? Where are the unanswered questions? What type of experience are they not talking about? What fear are they not addressing? Because those gaps, those things that your competitors are just leaving unspoken, that is your opportunity in marketing. Now, in the trades especially, I see this over and over. Contractors like to talk about quality and experience, and they hardly ever talk about communication, about what it feels like to have a work crew in your home for weeks, and how they go about handling difficult conversations when something unexpected comes up. And that non-verbal communication is an opening for you. And the business that fills those gaps, that clears up all those unspoken what ifs, those are the businesses that win. Step number 2 is you want to become your own category of one. Now, this phrase, category of one, comes from positioning strategy, but what it boils down to is this. Stop trying to be the best in your category and instead start defining your own category where you are the only choice. So you're not the best remodeling contractor in a city. That's a competition that you can easily lose because we all know that those votes are fixed, but that's personal opinion. But you can be the remodeling contractor who treats your home like their own and sends you a photo update every day so you always know where the project stands. That phrase, that sentence, is how you build your own category of one. You're not comparing yourself to any of your competition. So there's nobody else to compare price points on. There's just, do you want someone to work on your home and treat it, love on it like their own home and send you photo updates every day? Or do you want the contractor who's a little less in price but isn't going to communicate with you at all? So, what is your category of one? What do you do, or how do you do something that is specific enough that nobody else could copy it word for word? And if you find yourself struggling to find an answer, go talk to some of your best clients and ask them. Ask them what they tell people when they refer you. What are the words that they use? Because those words are more specific and more powerful than probably anything that's on your website right now. Now, here's the third tip. Make your messaging visible everywhere, not just on your website. And this is where so many businesses drop the ball. They do all the work of figuring out their messaging. They know what makes them different, and then it lives on one page on their website and nowhere else. Your marketing needs to show up in every proposal that you send, in your email signature, in how you go about answering the phone, every conversation that you have with a customer, in the very first thing that you say when you show up on site. It needs to show up in your social media, not as part of a completed jobs portfolio, but evidence of the experience that you're promising, because actions are so much louder than words. And it also needs to show up in your reviews. And the only way it's going to show up in your reviews is if your clients hear and see it over and over again. And even then, you have to ask your clients for a review where they talk about the specific things that set you apart instead of just giving you a star rating. Marketing is not a one-time exercise. This is a consistent commitment to showing up in a way that answers the question, why you, without being asked why you. And it needs to do it every single time you make touch with the client. Now I want to share with you something that I think is really important for service businesses, especially if you have strong values, which is who I'm typically talking to on this podcast. So I'm assuming that's you. Messaging can feel a little uncomfortable if you're the kind of person who believes that your work should speak for itself. If you were raised to keep your head down, do the good work, and trust that the right people will notice, this is going to feel real uncomfortable for you. And I believe that your work should speak for itself. I really do. It matters. Integrity matters. Craftsmanship matters. But here's something else I also believe. If your marketing is invisible, the clients who need you the most will never find you. And they'll end up with someone who doesn't serve them as well as you would have. So getting clear on your messaging isn't about bragging. It's about stewardship. It's making sure that the gifts you were given and the way you show up for your clients reaches the people who need them. You were never intended to be option B. You were intended to be the business that is the obvious choice. And I want you to go be that business. Now, if this feels like a lot and you would like help working through your own messaging, figuring out your own category of one, and making sure that it shows up consistently across everything that you put out into the world, that's exactly the kind of work that we do. You can visit my website, limitlessimpactagency.com, and find out more. Plus, as always, I would love to schedule a strategy session with you and just learn more about your business and where you're needing help. Now, if this episode hit a nerve, I would love for you to share it with one person in your world who is tired of competing on price and let them know that they don't have to. If something landed for you today, I would be so appreciative if you'd share this episode with one person in your world who needs to hear it, because that's how this show will grow. And I am so grateful for every single share that is made. If you're ready to take what you learned today and put it into work to grow your business, I would absolutely love to talk to you. You can use the link in the show notes or visit limitlessimpactagency.com to schedule your free strategy session. We'll figure out exactly where you need to focus first, but until next week, go do something amazing.